Time to count down again, and what I really like about today's countdown is it's going to be a combination of a lot of previous countdowns all put together. Was I not in the middle of the camera? Hey Extreme Team, due to popular requests, we're going to continue these countdowns, and today was probably the hardest countdown I've ever had to do. Even harder than ranking my kids, and just so you know, we actually call our children 1, 2, and 3. And when we do it in a store, people get really upset at us. But 1, 2, and 3 is not their ranking, 1, 2, and 3 is their age. So today I'm not going to count down which child is my favorite, even though you know it's you. Sometimes all of them watched, they'll all think that was for them. It's actually probably the most elaborate countdown I've done because I'm going to count down my favorite Marvel statues here in the Extreme Collection. And as I started to make the list, it got kind of complicated. So while I formulate my thoughts, check out this statue giveaway. We are going to hit 20,000 subscribers in 2020. To do that, we're giving away a statue every 2,500 subs. At 15,000 subs, the winner will get to choose between these two PCS Mortal Kombat statues. Make sure that you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. Then stay tuned towards the end of this video to find out how to enter. So here are the rules I put in place to figure out my top 10 favorite Marvel statues. First rule is we're going to do 15 because I couldn't narrow it down to 10. Second rule is I'm looking at 1/4 scale statues only. Thing is, I am taking only comic-based statues. So if it's a statue that's made specifically after a movie piece, for example, the Queen Studios Thanos bust, which wouldn't count because it's a bust anyway, it would not be included in this collection because it is a movie-based piece. Also, I am only taking one of each character. Otherwise, I might have 5 Venoms in this list. I have done a number of other countdowns like top Venoms, top Hulks, and you can check those out at the end of this video. So to make it even more complicated, I looked at a pure version of each character. So for example, Venoms. My favorite Venom statue is actually this Marvel vs. Capcom variant. While that's my favorite Venom statue, it is not my favorite Marvel statue in this list. It's a different Venom that's more of a traditional Venom. And you may see that with some other characters. So how do you constitute what's your favorite statue? Well, some of it is my attachment to the character, some of it's the paint, some of it's the sculpt, some of it's just I would never sell this piece. And again, this is just my opinion. It's good for you to disagree with me. But with no further ado, let's start with number 15, which number 15 actually shocked the hell out of me. Number 15 is this custom Morbius statue. And I think there's a number of reasons I have such an attachment to this piece. It's done by one of my favorite sculptors. I love vampires. Morbius was probably one of the main 10 characters I bought comics of as a child, and it just looks badass. I recently had him as one of my favorite Spider-Man villain statues, and I remember someone commented that I was wrong to put that as number 1. Like I said at the beginning, these are just my opinions. I absolutely love that piece. Number 14 is a recent acquisition of the Mad Titan himself. It is my new custom Thanos on throne. Now, I do have another one that's actually being shipped right now, but this is fantastic. The more I look at it, the more I like it. I had to put a Thanos on the list, although I'm really excited about XM Studios Thanos that should be shipping later this year. This is an awesome piece. That's why he comes in at number 14. Number 13 actually probably would be ranked higher if I pulled him out and put him on the review table, which I will someday. But this is this custom Doctor Doom on throne. And I have another custom Doctor Doom on throne that I think actually ships in September, if I'm not mistaken. But this piece is phenomenal. I don't have a huge attachment to Doctor Doom, which may be why this is lower on the list, but it is done really, really well. Number 12 is my Cyclops vs. Sentinel, and a lot of people consider this to be one of the best Sentinel pieces out there. I think it's fantastic, and again, it may be my lack of attachment to the leader of the X-Men, but it's dynamic, it's awesome. There was an issue with the paint on the face, but Mrs. X actually has remedied that on a few of the portraits. Very, very cool piece. One of my favorites, Cyclops vs. Sentinel at number 12. And right next to it is the Cyclops vs. Iceman vs. Sentinel. Again, I put this recently as one of my top pieces on my Sentinel countdown list. I think it's fantastic. It's one your head immediately goes to in the collection because of how dynamic it is. And it does a lot that no statues have ever done before. Number 10 is the only Wolverine I picked, and this is where I kind of broke my rules. It's not a pure Wolverine, it's the X-Force version of Wolverine. So this is my X-Force Wolverine versus Ninjas. I love this piece. The one thing I wish that would be different is I wish that I would have had them paint, because this was professionally painted, paint the ninjas in black suits. That's the one thing I think I would have taken back, but the Wolverine itself is phenomenal. The paint, the sculpt, the concept of it. It actually has 2 switch out torsos. Number 9 really surprised me. I told you I wanted to put kind of a pure Venom in here. Well, I liked the Prime 1 Studios Venom the best. I stared at the Venom wall for about 5 minutes, and I really went through the pros and cons of all the different ones. I've never reviewed this piece either, and it's at my office, so I will do it someday. But it is a phenomenal Venom piece, and I think its presence really is what made it stand out compared to the others. And a lot of those same reasons can be said for my number 8 is the XM Studios Hulk transformation. You'll notice this was my favorite green Hulk in my Hulk countdown video. That's why it's probably the favorite one on this list, because it's kind of the true pure Hulk. Although I have 3 or 4 more custom green Hulks being shipped very soon. So this may be unseated, but for now, definitely my favorite green Hulk and number 8 on this list. Number 7 is probably the character I have the least attachment to in these top 7 here, but it's just done really well, and the paint and sculpt are really good, but the concept is just phenomenal. This is a custom Loki on Throne. I think this is the first review I ever did on YouTube, and I cringe when I watch it. I've always been tempted to go back and review some of those older pieces a little bit better to give you guys better views. Let me know in the comments if I should do that. But he has all the Avengers turned into stone, and he's made his throne out of them, and he's just so evil and mischievous. Awesome, awesome piece right here. Number 6 is that custom Rogue vs. Sentinel. This one gets a lot of hate. I've said this before because of the portraits. A lot of unjust hate because they look at 2% of the statue. That is just okay. And some of the portraits are bad. Let's not sugarcoat it. But the rest, the other 98%, is some of the best I've ever seen. So I can put up with 2% that's just okay for sure. And I absolutely love this piece. I actually got rid of all my other Rogues and kept this one. Number 5 is XM Studios Hulkbuster. This is so impressive every time I look at it. And it's not just the size and the presence. You'll notice a lot of these top 15 pieces are very large, but they just did a phenomenal job representing every part of it, the different options. I have this in my Hulk collection actually because it's a Hulkbuster, but it is such a cool piece. Number 4 surprises me because he's not one of my top favorite characters, but he is an X-Man, so I have a lot more attachment to him than I do like Loki. This is that custom Nightcrawler. Another statue that just broke some boundaries. I love the fact he's in mid-Banff. He's teleporting, tons of switch outs. It has ties to his heritage. The paint and sculpt are out of this world. Very, very cool piece. So he was an X-Men. These next 2 pieces, number 3 and 2, are X-Men as well. And you guys know if I had to get rid of all the themes but one, I would keep my X-Men. So see if you can guess what number 3 is. Put it below in the comments. Number 3 is my custom Sabertooth piece. You know, I have huge ties to Wolverine from growing up, and then I had huge ties to Sabertooth by association. I love this piece. It came only as a kit, painted by an amazing painter, and it just strikes me as amazing. And every time I look at it, I just love it. I am getting XM Studios Sabertooth, and in the end, I'll probably only keep one of them. I don't think XM Studios will beat this, but we will find out. Number 2, another X-Men piece. I think in the X-Men countdown I did, this was number 1, then it was number 1 in the Sentinel, so it shouldn't be a surprise. This is that Magneto vs. Sentinel. Absolutely love this piece. Some people think it's too much going on. I think it's a centerpiece, so it doesn't have too much going on. It shows his power. It is. This one is also professionally painted. I think that makes a big difference to factory paint a lot of the time when you just look at it. Cannot say enough good things about this piece. Switch out torso, switch out cape, 4 portraits. Very, very cool. And the disadvantage to doing a countdown like this, especially when it's like, okay, what's my favorite Marvel statue is, you guys all know that if my house was burning, I would leave my wife and kids to grab this statue instead. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't leave my kids. But this is my custom Silver Surfer out of a black hole. My absolute favorite statue. If I got out of statue collecting and got to keep one, this is the one I would keep of all my statues, not just Marvel. My favorite character in his most iconic pose. This is just an amazing piece. And it never gets old walking by it. It just strikes me every single time. And now is the time that I want you to participate. I want you to throw in the comments below your favorite Marvel statue that you've ever seen in person. So only include ones you've seen in person, whether you've seen it at a show, you've seen it at a buddy's house, or you actually own it. So throw that in the comments below because that will help you win that giveaway statue. To win one of these Mortal Kombat statues, all you have to do is comment on a video. At 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick a random video and pick a random comment. That person will win the prize. They can choose between these 2 pieces. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But thanks for tuning into another countdown, guys. I have more coming, as well as some other content, so hit that Mr. X logo to catch all this high-end collectible content, or check out some of these other countdown playlists. Otherwise, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care of your teacher.